Hello, my name is Andrew.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're here again to talk about difficult concepts, difficult words in Polish, and how to translate them appropriately into English.
And today we have a special high-carb version. We'll be talking about Polish food, and we'll be spending quite a bit of time on things made and based from flour. So a lot of dumpling talk today.
That's right. But we'll also get a little bit of the potato pancake in there as well. Which starts us off with our first word, which should be relatively easy, and that is, of course, the pierogi. So how do you translate that, Amanda, into American English, or how do those Brits say pierogi?
How do the Brits say it? Well, I wouldn't know.
Well, how do they explain that they're eating a bowl of pierogi?
You're eating a dumpling stuffed sometimes with cheese and potatoes, sometimes with fruit, sometimes with cabbage and
mushrooms, for example.
Yeah, so it's basically a stuffed dumpling.
That's right, but I think you can get away with, at least in the United States, with the word pierogi today, right?
Yeah, you see pierogis sold as pierogis, so
And we do have an additional plural form to that, right? Pierogi is, of course, plural in Polish, but then we say pierogis.
Right, we add our own plural to it, so it's already plural, but we just make it plural
even more so. That's right, but there is a typical, well, the most popular, I think, are pierogi RUSKIE, right? So how would you describe that?
Well, that would be like I guess, potato and white cheese filling, which I think is pretty much...
That's right, and sometimes a little bit of onion in there as well, butter or whatnot. But how would you translate that? You can't say Russian pierogis.
I think that's pretty much what you get in the States.
Is that how they translate it?
No, I think they just call it pierogis. I don't know. I think
that's just the standard.
Yeah, I think.
So if you're talking about RUSKIE, then you should just say pierogi.
Yeah, you might say Russian style or something like that.
But it's not really Russian because the word is not Russian because it's rosyjskie would be the proper. RUSKIE would be an old-fashioned word that they use for Rus or Ruthenian. But the concept is that we shouldn't call them Russian. You should just call them.
Just call them pierogis with cheese and potato.
Make your life easier.
Make your life easier.
Or just say it's pierogi or pierogis, and people will understand you in Chicago or New York.
They'll understand you in Chicago.
But if it's something different inside, then you have to explain the filling.
You can say it's blueberry or,
strawberries or mushrooms or whatnot. Okay, this moves us on to a very complicated topic, and that, of course, living here in Bytom, in Silesia, everybody talks about Sunday dinner with KLUSKI ЩLOSKIE.
Yeah.
So how do we translate that? Now, I get into
little balls of dough and potato, right?
That's right, and
they're like tiny little yonki. That's kind of what they are, if you know what that is.
Well, you use potato flour,
right?
What you do is you also have, of course, potatoes that you mash, ground down, and then it's served typically with meat and with some red cabbage as well. But I have a problem translating this because you can't just say to someone, oh, I'm having KLUSKI ЩLOSKIE.
Yeah.
You would say dumplings, would you not? Potato dumplings again.
Yeah, Silesian dumplings, I guess.
Silesian dumplings. Well, there are so many words in Polish. There's so many types, that's right. You have PYZY, you have KLUSKI na parze, you have knedliki from the Czech Republic, KOŁDUNY from the north, or where not. And so I just think the word dumpling, though, is kind of generic. How can we describe one dumpling from another, or is it just impossible?
Shape and size? That's pretty much it. It's kind of like Mexican food. It's like, the same combination of stuff in different shapes and sizes with different stuff on top of it.
So if I say dumplings, will people understand me in the United States?
I would understand a dumpling, yeah.
But I would think a dumpling is in soup or somewhere else, or can it just be on the side with some meat and sauce?
All of those things.
All of those things.
That's what's wonderful about dumplings.
So just use the word dumpling.
Yes.
For pierogi, use the word pierogi, but for anything else, just use the word dumpling. And if they don't understand you, you can explain how they're made, what they're made of. Because we can't do that
There'll be a
diagram
coming soon to break down all the dumplings and their properties.
All right, moving on to potato pancakes, I think, is the best way to translate PLACKI
ziemniaczane, potato pancakes, and I think most people probably know what that is.
Now, is that something common in the United States? Do we have potato pancakes? Is that a dish?
I don't know if it's common, but people know what that is. if you eat at, you know, Denny's or something, they do a pretty good potato pancake at Denny's, I have to say.
Okay, but we do have other variations to that, do we not? Don't we have like tater tots or hash browns? Is that somewhat similar or is that completely different?
Well, I guess those are like the little, you know, little nugget size thing. They're kind of like the little balls of potato pancake or something. I don't know the difference between a hash brown and a tater tot. I guess, I don't know. Do you know?
So for placki though, ziemniaczane, we use potato pancakes. In America, we have similar things, but they have different terminology.
Yeah.
So just stick with potato pancake, which brings us, of course, to the classic NALESNIKI.
Right.
How do we translate that? Because Americans get a little bit upset when I use the word pancake for everything. And they're like, oh, no, that's not a pancake.
I think they're more like a crepe because they're the flat kind, and American pancakes are those fat ones that you put in a stack, right?
That's right.
And
a flapjack, or is that something different?
I think a flapjack is more like those RACUCHY things. That,
okay, just let's start with NALESNIKI. So we're going to say that typically you would say crepe.
Right.
Because American pancakes are thicker.
They're thicker, and we tend to stack them up and eat them with syrup and butter. And the NALESNIKI, usually they're filled up with something and they roll them up, and you don't have to eat them for breakfast with sweet stuff, but you can. I mean, they put kind of a sweet cheese and, you know, maybe some strawberry or something.
Or some sort of jam, that's right.
Or jam, yeah. Or, you know, you can also fill them with something that's
whipped
not
cream, fruit,
sweet. Yeah.
or something that's, for example.
Spinach and cheese or meat or whatever. So
that would be a crepe.
Function more like a crepe, yeah.
But what about the word blintz? I've also heard used.
That's also just the same kind of thing,
Is it the same type of thing?
Yeah.
But most people would say crepe. Is that more easily understood?
You could say, it might be just regional. You know, some people know what a blintz is. I think, you know, some people, but it's kind of the same thing. Maybe the filling changes.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So I would use the word crepe. Pancake would be more for American pancakes, perhaps. But that moves us on to another word that you've already mentioned, and of course that is, RACUCHY.
Right.
So this you would say?
I think they're flapjacks.
You would call them flapjacks because they're thicker.
That's the closest approximation would be a flapjack.
Because they have a little bit of baking soda or yeast or something in them that makes them raise a big.
And they're fried, and you can eat them. I guess you can eat them, you know, with apple or something.
Well, that's what my wife does. Yeah, she puts apple in it, and then with a little bit of powdered sugar, which I think is quite common. But in the United States, do we have something like that? We would just say flapjacks? Really? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's not a big thing. I mean, I sort of have this idea of what a flapjack is, but it's not, it was never something I ate until I came here. You know, it's just not one of our main, we're more likely to go for the pancake, I
Just
think.
for the pancakes.
Yeah.
But we also have, of course, gofry.
Gofry, waffles. And
well, that's a bit strange. Because first of all, in Poland, gofry are eaten completely differently. So waffles in America, can you explain how you would eat them, when you would eat them?
Almost like a pancake for breakfast. You'd eat it the same way with the butter and the syrup and maybe some fruit or something. Here, I guess you have the waffle ice cream cones too. And here it's kind of what, you go and you get a bunch of whipped cream on the top and then some kind of...
Well, they eat it holding it, right?
Yeah.
It's not as if they have a knife, a fork.
No, it's just, you just eat it kind of like flat, and it's got
at the beach, at the park, at the lake.
And they have stands, like waffle stands, and they take the whipped cream and they go, and that's your waffle.
But you don't find the waffle stand in America.
No, I've never seen a waffle stand.
You have a waffle shop though, right? Isn't there? Or it's like some sort of, like breakfast place.
Probably at a breakfast place, if you go to some place like IHOP,
I remember,
I'm sure they have
I think there
too.
are variations of that though. I think in Pennsylvania or another place they could say, it's a waffle shop, and that's where
there's a Waffle House.
Waffle House, that's it, thank you.
Yeah.
But that's a breakfast place. That's not a place that you would go for
and
dessert.
Like an overnight, it's like an usually those places are all night for the drunk crowd and stuff, and the concert crowd. Like,
I'm missing so much of American culture.
You know, waffle or whatever, hangover food.
All right, so the word is waffle.
Yeah.
And waffles, right? For gofry,
waffles.
right? Waffle.
And they have the plural, gofry is plural.
More commonly used. There is the word gofry, which I had an argument with my wife yesterday evening about whether or not it's gofr or gofr. And, well, we figured it out, but it's not important. What's most important is that in English, the word is waffle.
Right.
And we have a similar word in Polish, wafelek, right? Which is not waffle.
It's a wafer.
It's a wafer.
Right. So a wafer is a wafelek, like a little waffle. So the thing, then the ice cream cone, is that a wafelek then? That's a...
Well, that's I think it would
the
be...
ice cream cone would be a wafer.
Wafer cone.
That's what they call the ice cream cone thing, I think.
That's right, but I think when you're talking about waffle in English, typically you're talking about well, breakfast, right?
Yeah,
But then wafer is something that maybe could be a little bit of a snack, that you have a wafer, that here they have knoppers or some other dessert.
There's cookies.
There's cookies,
Yeah.
or a cake, or a tart, or some sort of tort maybe would be better, that we're talking about that layered cake with different layers of wafers.
Right, right. So,
But to make it even more confusing, there is the word opłatek, which is also an English wafer.
well, is that the communion wafer
That is the
though?
communion
and that's
wafer.
the thing you do at Christmas Eve when you know, it's part of what people do here.
As a
You break
tradition,
a piece off and you wish people well and good health and things.
That's right.
And you break off a wafer.
So with opłatek and wafelek, it's the same in English, it's wafer.
Right.
However, if you're talking about communion in the Catholic Church, then of course you can say host, which makes it much easier. The
Right.
Eucharist, right?
Right.
Celebrating the Eucharist. So opłatek and wafelek will be wafer in English for the most
Right.
part. And then we have obłaty.
It's a wafer. Like,
It's more wafer.
it's another wafer. It doesn't seem to have the waffle shape. It's smoother, but it's also a wafer.
It can have some sort of imprint on it
Yes,
as well.
there's usually a little picture in the middle of something. I don't remember what, but yeah.
But how would you describe this? I bought my
smooth
mother
wafer.
Silesian obłaty and
Yeah.
Silesian
And what are
wafer.
you supposed to do with those, by the way? I don't even know what to do with them. Occasionally
I thought you could have like
get hold of one for
fillings
some
or
reason
something
and-
inside.
Yeah.
I think in the Czech Republic they have them as kind of a souvenir, but here in Silesia as well.
Yeah, I've gotten some, like, people give me one and I'm going, well, am I just gonna eat this? Or like, do I put something on it? Or what? So,
All right,
yeah.
so we've talked about a lot of things that are related to, well, of course, desserts, but not only desserts, we're also talking about anything that has flour in it, as well as
Right.
potato pancakes, and how confusing it is to translate these concepts, these words into English.
That brings us back to dough. Back to dough, by the
Okay,
way.
yes,
because
back to dough.
we have to have our part 2 of the dough talk, CIASTO. We neglected to mention that it also is the dough for pizza.
That's right.
The pizza dough is also CIASTO.
Or
So
crust.
It's a
It
yeah.
could
The
be-
crust,
crust is also
also
used
the
in
CIASTO.
CIASTO.
So this word CIASTO is
Dough
so
and-
versatile. You can use it in many different ways.
It's so complicated in this
Yeah.
country because monka, you have so many varieties of it. And in America, it's just relatively simple. You just have one variety. You don't have hundreds of numbers. And people get
Right.
quite interested in this because it's a part of their cooking. But in English-speaking world, I guess we don't do as much cooking, or as baking, I should use the word baking, as much as they do here in Poland. And as a result, it becomes rather confusing.
Right.
So, but we should also remember, just for a little bit of fun, ciacho, of course, can mean something completely different in Polish.
Oh yeah, if you ciacho, it's only for guys. Like
But I think it's for women too.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
Donka was telling me. My wife was telling me it's also for women and for men. So you can be a hunk or a babe, or eye candy, which would bring us back, of course, to sweets.
Yeah, so basically this is somebody who just looks amazing, you know.
Like our sweets, like our pancakes,
Yeah,
our NALESNIKI and GOFRY.
eye candy. So yeah, you can also, if you come across that, they're not talking about food.
Okay, so we're finished with this conversation. I think that we have talked enough about flour-based products. I hope this helps you somewhat, and I hope it was somewhat amusing. I have learned something from Amanda. Thank you very much, and we'll be back to talk to you about more complicated topics very soon. So take care for now.